It is 2026. We were promised flying cars in the 50 seconds, and we were promised a machine that could outthink a human by now. Depending on who you ask on Twitter or X, I guess we're either standing right on the precipice of general artificial intelligence, or we're just staring at a very expensive, very convincing parrot. So, the trillion-dollar question, are we there yet?
If by there you mean a machine that can write a better sonnet than me, yes, we passed that mile marker a while ago. But if you mean a machine that can wake up, look at a messy, undefined problem, and solve it without having seen a similar pattern in its training data, that is a much murkier water.
But look at the last few months. OpenAI's latest model release, it's not just predicting the next word anymore. It's planning. It feels different. It feels like there's a mind at work, doesn't it?
It feels that way. And that feeling is exactly what they are selling. The architecture has shifted. We aren't just looking at large language models anymore. We are looking at large reasoning models. The difference is subtle, but massive. 2 years ago, if you asked an AI a trick question, it would confidently hallucinate an answer. Today, the new models pause. They simulate a chain of thought. They think before they speak.
Right. The pause feature. It's almost theatrical. But is that genuine reasoning? Or is it just a better magic trick?
That is the core of the debate right now. Think of it like a student taking a math test. In 2024, the AI was the kid who memorized the textbook. If the question on the test was exactly like the book, they got an A+. If you changed the variables slightly, they failed. Now, in 2026, the AI is the kid who understands the formula. It can derive the answer. But, and this is the big but, it still doesn't understand why the math exists or how it applies to the real world outside the paper.
So it has logic, but no context, no common sense?
Exactly. It has silicon logic. It's brittle. Elon Musk's team at XAI has been pushing this angle hard recently. They've been trying to build what they call truth-seeking AI, focusing less on politeness and more on raw logical deduction. Their latest demo showed an AI solving physics problems that hadn't been solved before. That is terrifyingly impressive. But does that AI know it's solving a physics problem? No. It's just minimizing an error function.
But does it matter? If the machine cures cancer or solves fusion energy, do I care if it knows what it's doing? Do I care if it has a soul?
Pragmatically, no. Philosophically, absolutely. Because if we are building AGI true general intelligence, we are essentially building a replacement for the human intellect. If that replacement is just a super advanced calculator with no moral compass or understanding of consequence, we aren't building a partner, we're building a tool that is sharper than we are capable of handling.
That brings us to the agency problem. We're seeing these models acting as agents now. They browse the web, they book flights, they write code to fix their own bugs. That feels like the line between tool and entity is getting blurred.
It is. And that's where the 2026 landscape gets dangerous. We have moved from chatbots to action bots. The new OpenAI architecture allows the model to spin up sub-instances of itself to handle tasks. It's like a CEO delegating work. But here is the catch. If the logic is flawed at the top, the actions at the bottom can be catastrophic. We haven't solved the hallucination problem. We've just buried it under layers of verification.
So, you're saying we are building skyscrapers on a foundation that still has cracks?
Precisely. We are scaling up compute power, throwing more GPUs at the problem, hoping that scale is all you need. And sure, the model gets smarter, but it's not becoming more human. It's becoming more alien. We are seeing reasoning capabilities that don't map to human psychology. It solves problems in ways we can't reverse engineer. It's a black box that is getting bigger and darker.
That's a comforting thought. So, back to the timeline. Musk says 2029 for full AGI. Some researchers say we're already in the foothills. Where do you land?
I think the definition of AGI keeps moving. In 2020, what we have today would have been called AGI. Now we call it advanced machine learning. We keep moving the goalposts because we don't want to admit that we've been outpaced.
It's the god of the gaps. As soon as science explains it, it's no longer a miracle. As soon as AI does it, it's no longer true intelligence.
Bingo. But if you hold a gun to my head, I'd say we are 80% of the way there. The last 20% isn't about computing power or data. It's about architecture. We need a paradigm shift. We need machines that can learn continuously without retraining. Right now, even the best 2026 models are frozen in time until the next update. A true AGI needs to learn, like a child interacting, failing, and adapting in real time.
And once that happens, once the machine can rewrite its own code and learn from its own mistakes without a human engineer in the loop,
then the timeline doesn't matter anymore. Because at that point, progress stops being linear. It becomes vertical. We go from smart assistant to superintelligence in the blink of an eye.
So, 2026 isn't the finish line. It's just the final straightaway before the takeoff.
Or the edge of the cliff, depending on your optimism.
Well, on that cheerful note, we'll leave it there. We are living through the most significant technological shift since fire, and we're still trying to figure out if we're holding the torch or burning the house down. Thanks for the deep dive.
Ideally, we're just lighting the way. Let's hope the batteries don't die.